Dane, when you growing up, did anything get banned? Were you not able to play anything or do anything because of
I wasn't allowed
religious
to play
reasons?
Pokemon. I know.
God.
Pokemon.
That was the devil. Pokemon means the devil. Did you know that? Pokemon, that's what I was told. Pokemon translates to devil, like devil monsters or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, what about Digimon?
Really?
That's
yeah, all of them. Okay. All of them were bad. Mon, monster.
And,
anyway,
Harry Potter, man. Harry Potter was off the table.
Really?
Yeah.
What did I have to do? Pokemon was one. I remember Pokemon came through, and it was like, hey, you can't play Pokemon, it's the devil. And I was like, well, okay, whatever. But eventually, I don't know, I think my parents like kind of came around and like realized how kind of stupid that all was. Because then I started getting like Pokemon cards and stuff eventually. But at first, I was like, no, can't watch Disney movies, can't play Pokemon. And then Harry Potter was never a big one because I think my parents had finally like kind of realized just how dumb the whole thing was. And like, so Harry Potter wasn't a big deal. Magic the Gathering was a big one for me. Cause I like playing Magic the Gathering, but it's like, oh, like, you know, you got your mono black deck over there and the dude's like, you know, blood sacrifice and all this stuff. They're like, we don't like that. So yeah. So what did you like sneak around and like sneak some Pokemon in there?
No,
I
never even had a Game Boy. So like I never got to Pokemon until like way later. But I'd go to like, you know, I'd watch other people play Pokemon and I was just like, I don't know that I even want to play that at the moment, right? Like, I was too cool.
Oh, you were too cool for Pokemon.
and you know what? I didn't need Harry Potter either because, you know, eventually I got Lord of the Rings, you know, and that was acceptable. That was definitely acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was.
Look, Gandalf dies and he comes back again. Was he supposed to be Jesus? No. That's kind of my favorite part of, like, I mean, again, this video is not about taking shots at religion. Like even people that are like deeply Christian, like with their own beliefs. A lot of them even like think that this whole thing is like just a joke, right? Just ridiculous. But the interesting thing to me, again, not trying to take a dig, is it does line up with my opinions of like the church and religion, is that there's a lot of like moving and connecting dots around to tell the story that you want to be told. It's like a big one that I got. And again, feel free to comment about this, but like, it's like the idea of like univocality with the Bible. Like the Bible is like one voice in one place. And so it has to be, it's all true. None of it's contradicting to each other and all that. Right. But if you read it, the book is literally contradicting itself in the text. The stories themselves are slight, like they have variations. It's frustrating because like the evidence that it was written by different people with different accounts of the same events is literally in the book. Now, that doesn't mean like it's like, oh, that just proves it's not true. And like, you know, the atheists are like, hooray, we win. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying the fact that like you consider it to be this one coherent like account of what happened and that you're able to move the parts around because it is that seems odd that within itself it is also contradicting to some of the stories or like has different accounts of the same events and things like that, right? I'm just sorry. Anyway, back to the video.
No, I know. You're dissecting this pretty hard. I like it.
When you're raised in the church, when you're raised going to church and all that, like even if you don't go to church anymore, you kind of like just have that belief in the back of your mind. And in a lot of cases, some people like, you know, things happen, they lose it or whatever. But like I myself, it's like, do I still believe all that stuff? I was like, yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like I was raised to, so it's just kind of in me, kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it feels wrong to like not. So anyway, I just wanted to like preface with that because like I said, I'm worried about some people being like, oh, Ken, my faith. And no, that's not the point of the video. But with him being like, well, that means this and this means that and that means that is the same thing that your pastor does with different scriptures of being like, this is why this is because we go to the Old Testament, then we go to the New Testament, we take this, we take that, we take that, we block them all up, and now we have today's message, and it's like, but is that what it's really saying? Is that what that passage actually meant? You know, are we adding our own things to make it say what we want it to say? And then we have this video that's doing the same thing. Okay, anyway, back to it.
Yoda, he's a three-fingered, three-toed beast. So he has the two fingers and the thumb, which from my information means Satan is Lord.
Oh, no.
Yoda is a Satanist lord. He's got 3 toes and 3 fingers. You know what? You know what goes into 3?
What?
6. That's 6.
Whoa.
And you know what that means? It says, 666. So Yoda's the devil. Sorry.
He could have been a Sith Lord, but instead he's a Satanist Lord.
Yeah, the forces, that's the devil work, man. That's the devil's work.
E.T.
Not
It
E.T.
was a camouflage occult movie, including levitation, psychic healing, mind control, mental telepathy, that type of thing. E.T. also included some inferences to homosexuality.
Does it?
What? It just says, yep, he sure does, and that's it. We just move on.
Homosexuality.
Yes.
Here's a rainbow bright.
E.T. phone home. Oh, yeah, he must be hanging out with the boys. E.T.'s the devil. Telepathy, man, all that stuff. It's like it seems like the concept so far is having an imagination is bad.
Right.
No.
Don't have an imagination.
You're out in your yard as a kid pretending you're making a stick float, and dude, nothing's actually happening, but you're practicing. That's the devil's work right there.
Here's a rainbow bright cereal box.
Rainbow Bright.
And
How is Rainbow Bright the devil? She's so cute, and her cereal was okay, but it was kind of like Lucky Charms. Yeah.
the rainbow represents the networking of the new age.
Right.
And it's interesting that she has a little 5-sided star on her cheek.
5. They don't. This guy's got a rainbow. I don't know what the new age thing is. I'm not familiar with that. That's an old one. But yeah,
Yeah.
And then she got a 5-star on her cheek. What about the one right here? What about this big 5-star right on the front? That's the devil.
It's upside down. That's a pentagram again.
Pentagram.
And that's another new age and occultic symbol. So we have to be careful even with Rainbow Bright.
Rainbow Bright's got goddamn pentagrams on her face. Did you know that?
I did not.
Let me see that. Where? Like, look at that. Look at that pentagram on her face. Look at it. It's upside. Oh, he's right.
It's not even up. Yeah.
At first glance, like it's just turned to the side.
That's
But
what I
it's-
thought.
Like, oh wait. Oh yeah.
That's what's on her cheek. There we go.
All right. I see now.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
If you allow your children to watch these cartoons, if you allow them to bring these comic books into the house, you're going to be held responsible before God. God says not to bring an accursed thing into your house, lest you should be accursed as it is. They teach the children to get into spells.
Goodness gracious, the call out right here. You're a parent. You let your kids do that, you're going to hell. Meanwhile, this dude, this face, like, maybe it's just the quality, but it's like kind of creepy.
Trust me.
Yeah, like the fear mongering here of like calling the parents out and like, the people that are like the very religious and they trust these guys and they're like, you got to do this. And all of a sudden your Pokemon cards in the trash and your kids are screaming and they're heartbroken and you got to save your soul. Save your soul from them demons. You bring that occultic stuff in your house that we're saying is occultic. So the Lord, he works in mysterious ways, Dane. It's somehow
Not through Jedis, I tell you that.
I bet these are like the same dudes that are like, get your ties in the church, even though that ties, you should look up if ties are biblical or not. Look that, do some research on yourself and like, figure out if you're going to hell if you don't pay your tithes or not. Like the churches want you to believe that you need to do. Go check it out. Check it out.
Spells and to witchcraft and to serve demon powers.
I've talked about this before, actually. That just reminded me talking about the demon powers and the occult stuff, right? It's like Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
They were like, she uses real spells in her book. And I was like, oh, wait, what? You believe in magic? Wait, they're real? Which one is it?
Right.
Like, yes, it's real. It's the devil. I was like, what? When did that happen? All right, well, that's like one thing. And then we go over to Reverend Jimmy Snow, who's got some thoughts on rock and roll music. And we're not talking about like heavy metal current day, like we're talking about like Elvis Presley and such.
I preach against it, and I believe with all of my heart that it is a contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today. I 100% believe it. Why I believe that is because I know how it feels when you